Considering Minion lore mentions that the Minions are constantly trying to find the most evil leader that they can follow at whichever point in history they happen to be wandering through, I find it humorous that they just so happen to be frozen during the Holocaust so the Minions don't end up following Hitler. But at the same time, I find that really disappointing because that's literally the only concept of a Minions movie that I would be interested in actually watching. Minions and Monsters is directed by Pierre Coffin, and it follows the Minions as they journey through being integrated into classic Hollywood, eventually attempting to make their very own monster movie. So now the Minions will have to find a way to summon real-life creatures to integrate into their film. Hey, you guys want to know something completely crazy that you would never expect? I'm not the target audience for a Minions movie. That isn't to say I don't like children's films. I love kids movies. There's some amazing kids movies out there. I've only seen the first two Despicable Me movies back when I was a youngin'. Nothing about the sequential additions to this Despicable Me franchise has ever inspired me to stay committed to this series, especially once they started doing Minion spin-off standalone movies. I think Minions as a concept in the background of another movie with actual human characters, for its time, it was kind of a lightning in a bottle premise, and it obviously took off beyond anyone's wildest expectations, and now they're everyone's racist aunt's favorite thing in the universe. Did I catch up on the other Minion movies I hadn't seen beforehand to prepare for this review? Fuck no. This was a similar case to something like Toy Story 5, where I was absolutely dreading watching this, but in order to get a review out, I went to the earliest showing I possibly could, and I sat there, and unlike Toy Story 5, I was not pleasantly surprised with this movie by any means. Right off the bat, no, it's not a 1 out of 10. This isn't like an absolute abomination to the art form of cinema. I think in many ways this movie is actually trying to be a love letter to film and filmmaking and cinema history. Obviously not in any cerebral, profound way. It's a fucking Minions movie. But considering the classic Hollywood setting, you do get a bunch of references to classic Hollywood films. And while some of them were maybe mildly amusing, 98% of them could be chalked up to that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood meme. They're not really jokes, and they're obviously not there for the kids in the audience, so this movie does try to cater to parents bringing their kids as well by throwing them a bone and giving these movie references here and there. But again, that's all they are. They're just references. They're not jokes. The majority of this movie isn't super narratively driven. I mean, yeah, there is technically a plot at play, but really this is just a series of cartoony skits of Minions just doing things. And yeah, it's full of a lot of Looney Tunes-esque slapstick comedy and whatnot. None of it really made me laugh. There wasn't a human element that I could connect to. Even with this director character, voiced by Christoph Waltz, funny enough, sort of leading the majority of the plot for the first, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. Even he was an exaggerated cartoon, and look, I know this is a cartoon kids movie, but even films like, say, Toy Story have this real human heart element at play that you can connect to so you can understand what the characters are going through. No, this movie is not taking itself seriously. It's not trying to be taken seriously. It's not trying to be this heavy, profound, heartfelt thing. And that's totally fine. But whenever you have a movie that's just 90 minutes of Minion slop, just Minions doing Minion things and running around and yelling without anything to really grab onto as an audience member, the experience just completely washes over you and you kind of forget that you're there at points. I'll tell you who did enjoy it though. The family that sat behind me, the children were all perfectly quiet, but the two parents, which were obviously older adults, full on scream laughed at almost any moment a Minion did anything in the movie. And look, I am a bit envious of the fact that these people are probably so much happier than I am because they're just so easily pleased and able to feel such immense joy over a Minion saying banana for the 100th time. That's all well and good, more power to you, but learn how to behave in a fucking movie theater. Anytime I go into kids movies, I'm automatically gonna go in expecting not a great theater experience. I'm totally understanding that kids can be loud and playing and doing things in the theater. That's whatever, and it's not like this is a movie that I was looking forward to or cared about particularly. But when grown-ass adults are laughing at fucking Minion slop for 90 minutes straight, at the top of their lungs, to me it just kind of validates that one iconic Spy Kids 2 quote.
You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
I can't say that I utterly hate and despise this movie's existence. I don't think it's necessarily lazy. I think they had a clear idea and premise of what they wanted, and I think they accomplished what they were trying to. If you're a fan of Minions and the Minion franchise, there's no way you're not gonna like this. I just don't understand what that life experience is like. The animation looks like every other Illumination animated movie. It's nothing special, not much personality. I do think there is honestly some good voice acting in the movie. I'll give it credit there. While we do have some celebrity actors doing voices in here, like I said, Christoph Waltz, there's also Jeff Bridges and Jesse Eisenberg. I feel like they all fit their roles pretty well. I actually thought Jesse Eisenberg did a decent job as a robot, but they also have cast members like Trey Parker, who I know was in the third Despicable Me movie. I thought he gave a good performance as this cute little Cthulhu type character, and for his small amount of screen time, it was a delight to hear Phil Lamar's voice in this, and he's just having fun here. Always happy to see staples of the voice acting community get roles in these big movies like this. Maybe this movie did what it sought out to do. Maybe Minion fans will like it. Yeah, I got nothing from this movie, but I'm feeling generous today. 4 out of 10 for Minions and Monsters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a good one.